Yo, yo, yo! Welcome to another episode of the joeZONE podcast. Today I have with me an old friend. Let's put it that way. An old friend, a champion, an all-time good human being. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Faeez Jacobs.
Hello everybody, good to be here.
There's like an applause, you can't hear it, but there's an applause there on the thing, so everybody's clapping for you. But anyway, Faeez, it's been a while. It's been a while since you've been on we've spoken. It's been we said pre-COVID, so how many years is that?
5 years ago.
5 years ago.
5 years ago.
It's been a long time, and obviously a lot has happened since then. But we never spoke on this CCM network, the Cape Conscious Media Network yet. So we just want to hear, maybe some people out there don't know your story, so maybe we want to cover that a little bit. So how, you told me this before. I remember you told me this. How did you get started fighting? It started off there.
Okay, so I was always afraid of fighting. So I was bullied for most of my schooling career.
Yeah.
And then I had gotten into a couple of tussles, but nothing where the knuckle was actually connecting.
Yeah.
And I moved schools. And I went to the school. I'm not gonna say the school's name, so I don't need no court cases.
Yeah, let's go on.
But I got into a backyard brawl.
Yeah.
And the guys was putting on MMA gloves, and I loved the sport, but I always loved the sport from a distance.
Okay. So it wasn't boxing gloves. It was MMA gloves.
It was MMA gloves.
So they had
They had the
fingers open.
Exactly. So they put the gloves on, and I saw this one guy just beat the snot out of this other guy. Basically, just hit him up, and eventually he just started covering.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Okay, does anybody else want to fight?" And everything is done differently. You know? This is a Model C school, so it's quite a nice school. So there's a whole activity center, there's a whole infrastructure, and everybody's like people are talking bets. So the school is there watching this happen, and anybody's like, "Hey, does anybody else wanna fight?" Now something in me just nudged me forward. I was always afraid to fight, but here was one of the times where there was no beef, so I could just fight this guy, and there was nothing that was going to follow.
Just like a match,
just like a match.
Game.
So basically, the rules was you put the gloves on and you fight to first blood. Only boxing.
First blood.
First person to bleed loses.
Sure.
Okay.
It's a vicious game.
It was a violent game. So we go back and forth. I catch him with the jab. So I've been watching, and I've always been into martial arts. So I would shadow box at home. I should have known all along I was meant for this, but I just kept ignoring the signs. Anyways, I catch him with a jab, and he starts pressuring forward, and I feel bad. I feel a little sense of remorse because I hadn't hit somebody that clean in the face before.
Yeah.
So he starts swinging on me, and there's a grass roller behind me. And I fall on the grass roller, and I try to get up, and he pushes me. And he pushes me down on the grass roller again, and he hits me as my bum touches the grass roller. So that was a cheap shot, bruh. And they bring us back to the center, and I feel the switch, and my mind goes silent. And I look at this guy, and I no longer see his facial features anymore. I see a blank face. And I go, jab, and he's afraid of the jab. I throw that right hand and I swing the left hook around. And as I swing the left hook around, he pulls his head back. And I catch him on the eye. Boom! And he closes his eye and he puts his hands up in physical surrender. And blood runs down his eye. And that was my first taste. And I was like, that was the realest thing I've ever felt in my entire life. I didn't even care about having my hand raised. I just wanted to trade blows again.
Yeah.
So I was talking to the guy that set this whole thing up, and I'm like, "Hey, get me my next fight." So I started treating this like this is a promotion. Anyways, I didn't end up fighting. I moved schools again.
Yeah.
But that was my taste for MMA, and that's how I started out in the game.
And then you first hit the gym. When did you first hit the gym? When did you decide to then, I need to take these backyard skills and transition them into an actual sport?
So that very same year, I found an MMA gym.
Yeah.
Nothing The MMA gym was basically a guy that went to Thailand and he did a holiday there and he learned some MMA skills and he decided he wanted to make some extra pocket cash.
Okay.
So he taught MMA classes. Like he did like very basic stuff. Like
sure.
If I'm being honest, I don't think he knew what he was doing at all. But that was my first taste in being in the training environment, sparring, grappling, shooting arm bars, triangles, whatever. And from there, I unfortunately I moved away. So I moved to Mitchell's Plain after that. And by the time I got to Mitchell's Plain, took all my pocket money, whatever savings I had, invested that in a boxing bag and some MMA gloves because I was convinced this is my life now.
Yeah. And you started training?
I started training religiously. I trained Monday to Thursday, every week. Every week, Monday to Thursday, as long as I was in high school.
And then how did you get your first fight? Your first professional.
My first professional.
First amateur fight.
My first amateur fight. So I went to Mitchell's Plain Boxing Academy. I trained under Eddie Marshall.
Yeah.
Eddie Marshall and what's his son name? Marlon Marshall.
Okay.
Like I trained under them for 2 weeks. Eddie I just want to pay.
We're going back.
I just want to pay my respects to Eddie. He passed away.
Definitely.
He was a phenomenal force.
Did he pass? When did he pass?
He passed in this year. He passed in this year, yeah.
Okay.
He was a phenomenal force in the game. He created a lot of opportunities for kids that was underprivileged. And he was just a remarkable person.
I wish shout out to Eddie.
He was there for a lot of people. So Eddie was a good guy. It took me 3 days to get hold of Eddie. Like I Googled his number and I kept phoning, I kept getting voicemail. But I called him religiously 3 times a day till I finally got hold of him. I started training at Mitchell's Plain Boxing Club. I think we trained twice a week. And basically we did fitness and sparred. That's all we did. And after
boxing,
2 weeks...
Just boxing?
Yeah, boxing. And after 2 weeks, I took my first fight.
Okay. Boxing fight?
Boxing fight, yeah. That's all I could get my hands on at that time. Financially, I couldn't afford it. The traveling to get to places like back in the day, I think it was Takedown that I was eyeing. But I was from Mitchell's Plain, so I took what I could get.
So obviously the traveling was too expensive for you to get there to Deep River, so you went for the...
For outside, yeah.
The cheaper option.
Yes, the cheaper option, yeah. Their training fees for that time was 50 Rand a month. Believe it or not. So I could afford that.
Yeah, but these Owens must listen to the story. It's like the humble beginnings. It's good to hear.
Training was so hard to find back. That days,
now it's much easier,
training, it was incredibly difficult to find. Like for somebody to... Well, I used to train...
MMA training was hard to find, but I mean, you could find like a karate gym or something like that.
Yes.
But I mean, karate is not gonna give you like
it can, but you need years in it.
Yeah.
And but specifically like jiu-jitsu and wrestling,
stuff like that. Yeah.
MMA,
wrestling.
Completely. Like boxing was still here and there. But yeah. Anyway, so back to the story.
Your first fight with Eddie.
First fight. So my first fight under them. 2 weeks. Basically, I took the fight on 2 weeks' notice, and they were saying, "Hey, we have a fight coming up. Who wants to fight?" And he kept ignoring me. So and I was just like, I want to fight. And he's like, "You haven't been here long." And I was like, "I want to fight. It's fine. I'll fight. And eventually, like he saw me spar, and there was a guy in the class that was turning pro, and I dropped him twice, and they were like, "Okay, let him fight. Let's see what happens." So I went into that fight, and I was in this guy. Like I could find the target. I was always good at finding the target, and I was not afraid of being hit. And those were my 2 weapons.
But you were like evenly matched with in the terms of like you had your first fight, he had his first fight or something like that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But I just was very comfortable being hit. I wasn't afraid of it. I had been taking pain my whole life, so I didn't fear pain. I didn't fear being hit. I was not afraid to walk through somebody's shots. In fact, I used it as an intimidation method. And I loved mind games. That was my thing. So moving him, like I was thinking this guy. I won the first round. I thought I was going to knock him out, so I half-gassed myself. Then in the second round, you won the second round, and then I came back and I won the third round. And
okay, so it went to decision.
So it went to decision, and I won my first fight.
Okay, nice.
It was an epic fight. It was a good moment for me. It was a good. I think
good learning curve.
At that point, I decided, hey, like I need to really take this seriously, man. Like I felt I had a future there.
At what age were you then when you had your first boxing?
That was 18.
Sure.
I was 18. I would have loved to start earlier, but you know what? It happens when it happens, man.
Nah, man, but you were hungry. It seems like you were hungry back then. So when did you have your first MMA fight? Because obviously then you were, how did you transition into MMA?
So I'm gonna touch on one more thing. Before we move into that.
Yeah.
I was living in Somerset West for a little time. I moved out of my parents' house and I moved
From Mitchell's Plain
from
to Somerset
Mitchell's
West.
Plain, I moved to Somerset West. Yeah, my brother was living in Somerset West. He had a job there, so I moved in with him. I wanted to be a big boy and I wanted to live under my own rules. And life was seriously starting to look bleak. Like I was really wasting my time doing things I shouldn't have been doing. Just trying to be in the party scene way too much. I've never shared the side of the story, so I'm just saying it like
it's time
it is.
to unpack.
And I met this guy, and he told me his name's Michael, and Michael was opening a boxing gym, and I told him, hey, I boxed before, and Michael showed me videos, but I couldn't afford Michael's fees at that time. I think it was like $700 or something like that, and I couldn't afford that fees. So what I did was time went away, and I was walking through a lane one day, and I walked past Michael, and we greeted each other, and I just continued walking, and Michael stopped, and he's like, hey, do you want to fight in a week from now? And I was like, yes, I want to fight. Get me a fight. I want to fight. I'm prepared to fight. And he said, okay, come by the gym. And I went by the gym, and I trained for that week, and I fought the following Saturday. And I beat that guy senseless. Like, I didn't lose 10 seconds of that fight.
Where was this fight?
This was in Stellenbosch. So for me,
A MMA fight?
No. This is
boxing
fight again.
Okay.
And for me, this was a standout moment, because this was when I made the decision. Hey, I'm gonna stop my shit now. I'm gonna take myself seriously now.
So you trained for 1 week?
1 week.
And you beat this old senseless?
And I beat this old senseless. Like I can't even explain to you how one-sided it was. It was so one-sided. Eventually it was just...
You never told this part of the story.
No,
I heard it, the previous part of the story on previous podcasts, but you never told me this before.
I had the one thing I will say, I had an insane self-belief. I have an insane self-belief. But even from back then, I always had that belief in myself, that this was something I was meant to do. And that moment there, me taking that fight on that short notice, me seeing what I was capable of when I put myself to a task, I said, no. I'm changing everything now. From now on, I am going to love like a champion.
That was the moment.
That was the moment. That was when the switch happened. I stopped.
Where a champion was born.
I stayed away from the wrong things, and I started to love my life as if I was in the UFC.
But that was a clear distinguishing moment in your life where you could differentiate yourself from any other human being. Like, it was obviously like that, but I was training longer. But this was meant for you, man. You know what I mean? Like, this is meant for you. You can't imitate that. Like,
yes,
you can't imitate fighting. It's either in you or it's not in you. Like,
I 100%. You have to have that. They describe it as that dog, but I feel like it's something in your heart, man. It's something in your heart. I feel I can become my heartbeat, if you know what I mean. When I'm in a fight, I become my heartbeat. So when it's beating, I can fight. When it's beating, I can fight. As long as my heart is beating, I will fight. And that's something I know within every ounce of my DNA knows it. When I get hit, my heart's beating, I will fight.
Yeah, it's an interesting part of the story. You left out of it.
I didn't touch on that, man. I didn't touch on that at the
but
time.
But that's the distinguishing moment. So then, obviously, after that moment where you decided, right, I'm going to pursue this, where do you go?
So I moved back with my parents again. I moved to...
You say, yeah, you're going to sacrifice living on your own and move back to your parents.
Yeah. Fix my life.
Okay.
Fix my life. No more bullshit. Fix my life. I need to take myself seriously.
If you want to be a fighter.
If I want to be a fighter, I need to do this. Okay? There was a gym around the corner there. That's when I joined with Fighters Inc. There I let my goal be known, and I got the energy was matched the same with me. Fidel was there and Cristiano. They both as hard as I was willing to work there, that's as hard as they were willing to work.
Was Cristiano with you that time?
Cristiano was there with me that time, yeah.
Yo.
And I got to spar good rounds with Cristiano. Cristiano beat me up, man. But in the best
obviously
way.
Cristiano is
in the best way. He was
Cristiano Mbasi.
Yes, Cristiano Ndombasi. I think at a very beginning stage of my career, he put in the right mentality. Him and Fidel together, they put the right mentality in, and he was hard on me.
That was iron sharpening iron.
He was very hard on me.
Iron sharpening.
That was brilliant. It was brilliant, and that's how I within 8 months there, I won. This is crazy. I won the CFL title in kickboxing. I won the PFC title in kickboxing. I won the Western Cape title in kickboxing. That was amateur, like the close to like sort of like the tatami tournaments with the but I fought like obviously I fought the K1s, yeah. And then I won the SA title in that, and then I won the Pro Saka title. So that 5 titles I picked up in 8 months. I picked that 5 titles up in 8 months, and I started knocking guys out. I started knocking guys out in devastating fashion because I loved it. I went to work to make money to do that.
But that was your amateur.
No, some of that was pro.
Okay.
Some of that was pro. The PFC title was pro.
Was that the pro?
That was pro. This is kickboxing pro.
Yeah.
So that the PFC title was a pro title, and the Pro Saka title was a pro title.
Nice.
So I only had 4 kickboxing fights when I fought my first pro fight. I fought a guy that had 44 fights, 40 wins and 4 losses.
Wait, was that EFC?
That was in kickboxing.
Oh, in kickboxing.
That was in kickboxing. That was Lucky Mokate. That was one of the you can bring up that fight is on YouTube if you ever have the time. It's not a quick fight. It's a 5-rounder. But that was one of that fights. That was a breakthrough fight for me also. That was when I went from being an amateur to becoming a pro. Yeah. And I fought a fight in boxing.
So all these specific moments like made you level up, and it like you leveled up according.
Yes, even before, like I have so much memories of and not memories but defining moments as a martial artist that made me who I am. Like how I managed to get a title shot so easy. My second kickboxing fight ever was a title shot. And the reason that happened was because I fought a guy that had 5 wins in kickboxing. But I beat him in boxing. So I called him out in kickboxing. So I beat this bro. I never fought kickboxing before. I beat him in boxing and I said, okay, we did it in my style. Let's do it in your style next fight. Then I fought him probably a month later, maybe a month or 2 later in kickboxing. Beat him in kickboxing. And then him and I had a trilogy for a vacant title. And then I beat him again. That's how I became a champion in kickboxing. Then they offered me the Lucky Mokate fight.
Yeah.
They offered me the fight at 2,000 Rand. My coach said, you're not fighting for 2,000 Rand. That's ridiculous. Okay, we at least going with 3 minimum. And I was just like, your people want to pay me money to fight this. Let's make this happen. And then 14 days notice, I came back from Oudtshoorn. I just won Western Cape's champion, like the K1 championship in amateur. So I had never fought pro yet. I just knocked that guy out. Basically stopped him with leg kicks. And then I came back to fight. I came back and they called me. My coach called me, said, on 14 days notice, I must take this fight to fight Lucky Mokate.
That's a kickboxing fight.
Kickboxing fight. I was sick. So I just got the flu. So I have this thing where I train so hard, my immune system drops. And I get sick, then my body forces me to recover. And then I was sick. He phoned me. I said yes. I said yes immediately. I didn't even know what was happening. He said, hey, we got you more money. I didn't care. I just said yes.
Okay.
14 days, 4 of those days I was sick. The other 10, we spent 2 to 3 times a day training for that fight. 2 to 3 times a day. I came in there and I fought that guy, a new guy. I was a whole new person. My body had changed, my physique, my skills, my timing, my accuracy, my precision. I was dialed in. And
how old are you there? Like 21?
yeah,
You said your body started to change.
Yeah, probably like 2021. And I put on a clinic that night. Put on a clinic. After that, they offered me another title shot. I fought Michael Clacker at PFC. I KO'd him as well.
True.
And then I fought pro boxing against this guy. Now this is a fight that almost nobody knows about. I lost this fight. So I had just come from never losing a fight in my whole fighting career, ever losing a fight. Like amateur, pro, never lost a fight. Boxing, kickboxing. And then I fought this guy in boxing. And moving from boxing to kickboxing is very upright.
So you were switching between the two.
So I just went from pro kickboxing straight to pro boxing. So I was very pro kickboxing is very upright. But because I knocked people out with my hands, I was like, okay, I wasn't much of a kicker anyways, because I came from boxing. I didn't even know how to check a kick, if I'm being honest. If somebody kicked me, I just hit him right through it. So like the minute he kicked me, I was just gonna hit him. That was my mentality. And I fought this guy in boxing, and he was short, like abnormally short. Like his normal size was like by my top ab, but he was stocky. And he had they called him, his name was Samuel, but they called him Tyson. Because he used this
Tyson style,
like a bloody Mike Tyson. And he was short as hell.
So he's bobbing and weaving.
And he's bobbing and weaving by my hips. And I wasn't used to fighting low. Used to fighting low. This guy dropped me in the first round with a shot I didn't see coming.
A level punch?
No, to the head.
Okay.
To the head, over a bolo. Over and right. Boom. Hardest I ever been hit. Like it felt like my ear was zinging. After that fight, my jaw was significantly injured for a while. But I got up and I fought that fight to the end. And by the end of the fight, I think he won that fight on ring control. But I think if half a round went any differently, that fight could have been mine. I just wasn't used to boxing. So then I said to my coach, I'm making no more excuses. I want to go to MMA now.
Yeah.
MMA is the goal. That's where I want to be. I'm not going to fight boxing. I'm not going to fight kickboxing. I'm fighting MMA. And then I fought Shane Braff.
Where was that?
That was at APFC. APFC. That's when
I know what that is. Yeah.
Yes, they like PFC hosted that African Pride Fighting Championship. Yeah. And then I fought Shane Braff in the main event.
I know who Shane Braff is.
Yes. He was very tough. I almost broke his arm in the first round.
MMA?
Yeah, we fought MMA.
How did he almost break his arm?
Armbar. And he just wouldn't tap. Like I could feel popping and crackling, but he just wouldn't tap. And then in the second round, he was backing me up. I shot a takedown, and I picked him up and I slammed him. I didn't know it at the time, but I slammed him on his arm. So I think I hurt his arm severely. I think something dislocated. And then I ground and pound to the finish. That was my first MMA fight. And then I wanted to get into the EFC. I remember I wanted so badly to get into the EFC. And then I fought another fight, but I had already been pro, so it didn't feel right to me to be fighting amateurs. But okay, Shane was pro in kickboxing also, so that was fine. That was okay with me. And then I fought Edwin Manando. And Edwin Manando was a jiu-jitsu guy, and he fought 5 MMA fights and he was undefeated. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. That fight makes sense. Edwin Manando, we fought. I think I jabbed him the first round. Couple nice jabs, and then he took me down. He held me down for the first round. And when I got back to the corner, I said, nah. This is not happening again. So I came in, 10 seconds into the fight, and I just started throwing hands at him. But I knew he was going to shoot. So I threw the hands to get the reaction. When the reaction came, I stepped back and I banged the uppercut. He ducked straight into the uppercut. And
As he's going to shoot for the takedown.
Yes.
Bah!
Boom. And then that was that. That's all she wrote.
You should lean into this, brah.
And then I was on the mic and I said, these were my exact words. I've been grinding my way. So let me just get the exact words. Because I practiced this.
The style by the moment.
I put effort into this.
I should say that. Troublemaker moment.
Most of you already know me, but for those of you who don't, troublemaker Faeez Jacobs in the house. Can I get some noise? I'll just knock this guy out. The crowd's out of their mind now. I've been grinding my way through the Cape Town guys. I'd like a shot at Africa. Can I hear some noise for EFC? And people started, can I hear some noise for EFC? I think you heard that EFC. Let's give the people what they want. I passed the mic over. At that time, because I was pro and like I was surviving on that money, that 2,000, 3,000 rand that I was fighting on, I was surviving on that money. And I ran out of money at that point. Then I started driving Uber. Uber was the most reasonable option so that I could train and work.
Was that the first time, sorry to cut you, was it the first time you got on the mic?
No, I did that in kickboxing also.
Because you always do that, like. You always get on the mic and stuff like.
If I put on my performance, I deserve to say myself. That's my perspective.
Yeah, sorry. So you were driving Uber, sorry.
I was driving Uber and I went to watch Ishad Sayed fight the Maatpena.
Is it? Was that what? One?
That was 1 year. That was one.
Yo, interesting. I'll tell you what happened to me that night.
Okay.
I think we spoke about this. I got locked up for drinking and driving that night.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
That's November 13th or something like that. 13th November 2017, 2016 or something like that. 2016.
Were you coming from the fight?
No, my son is 2015 maybe. 2015. Yeah, I was coming from a fight, yeah.
Did you learn your lesson?
Yeah.
Okay.
Changed my life.
Yeah.
That moment changed my life.
Nah, sorry for...
Here's the hectic story. I got locked up at number 140 Woodgate Road. I own a house. Bleep that out. I own a house in that same road.
Yo.
Like, 7 or 8 years later, I bought a house in the same road that I got locked up in, drinking and driving in. And that moment obviously changed my life. Well, when I drinking and driving, that like made me start to do a lot of things differently. Yeah. But yeah, that night, that's why it's infamous night in my mind. That's why I'll tell you what happened in
Yeah, but consequences remind you that being a man is a painful journey.
It's a painful journey, but look how it came full circle. I got locked up in that road and I bought a house in that same road. So it's like crazy.
No, but that is God's blessing to you, man. That's Him saying, I recognize the effort you put in to change yourself.
Away.
And I see how you have made the changes, so I will reward you in abundantly.
Yeah, I mean, what's the odds? Like, what's the odds of me like buying a house like in the same like? It's like crazy, these crazy things that just
unfolded from the.
Yeah, I don't know why. But anyway, you were saying the night you went to go see the Maatpena air sheet one. That was a brilliant fight. Like,
yes, I wasn't impressed with that fight.
Huh?
I wasn't impressed with that fight.
Weren't impressed with that fight?
I wasn't impressed with that fight.
I loved that fight. Irshad lost. Irshad lost. But I liked the fight. I liked I liked all of their fights. Like,
I felt like
even the one where he got kicked in the head.
I personally felt like the one where he got kicked in the head was a good one. I enjoyed that fight. But I felt personally that at some point Irshad was giving too much to the Maat. And it's like he was like the Maat is like a snake charmer. And Irshad was almost falling into it, man. Like he was like becoming snake charmed. He was like there's sometimes a moments where you see your opponent do things, and it happens. It always happens in a fight because you're in sync with one another. Like there's a lot of energy being shared between one another, and there's real connective moments that you share. And sometimes you can be proud of your opponent when they do something awesome. Like, I don't know if some people don't always know how to use that in a sense of how to use that to their advantage. Like, you'll see Max Holloway when his opponent does something, he claps his hands. Because you feel that was a good move now. Now, sometimes when somebody does it, you can be snake charmed. So you fall for their snake charming. You're like, that's impressive. Now you're starting to watch him more than you being present in your own mind. That's what I felt like happened in that fight. Because I think Irshad could have opened up with a lot more.
But your style is different to Irshad's style.
But I think there's stuff that was working for him, and I didn't see him push the gas on that, man. I didn't see him, like, I was a fan of Irshad. Like, I was a big fan of Irshad. Like, I followed Irshad. Like, this is how deep my following of Irshad goes. When I was in high school and I told my parents I want to be a fighter, I don't know if you remember Black Belt channel on TV, on DSTV. There was a time there was a Black Belt channel, and there was all this martial arts that would come on Black Belt channel. And I had to give my parents, like, they gave me homework to go give them a fighter that was successful and somebody's footsteps I could follow in. And there was no one. There's literally no one. And then one day on Black Belt TV, Irshad fought in an overseas promotion. And I was like, there's a guy from South Africa.
Yeah, he's from Wynberg, not even far away from where you live.
I didn't even know where he was from. I just saw the flag underneath his name. And that at that moment in time, that gave me hope, man. So I had been following him for a long time. Like I watched all of his fights probably 2 or 3 times. Man. Like I'm a genuine fan of the sport. Like I like certain people's styles. I like certain things that they do. So I was rooting for him in that fight.
Irshad's striking is crisp. And like back in the day when I used to be like a boxer, I used to like want to imitate his like, you know, when he punches like that tish, like it's almost like covering his, he covers his chin when he like does that punch and he turns it over. It's so crisp, and like just the movement of it looks so quiet. Like yo, I wish I could do that. I used to imitate that. Like
I've imitated some of the stuff that he does as well.
It's quiet.
Some of it works for me, some of it doesn't really work.
It depends on your body, because your body is obviously different to his body structure. Like so different, obviously stuff like it.
Anyways, back to the story.
Yeah.
So what happens is the two of them are fighting, and I'm live, and like
at the West.
At the event. So I left work, went to watch the fights, and then was leaving to go work again. So I left that night. I left the fight, and in the car I'm driving, and Big L is in the car, and some of his buddies is in the car, and they talking about the fight, and I don't intervene at first, but I'm listening to what they're saying, and from my perspective, I'm thinking to myself, like, you guys are like talking very MMA, but you're not acknowledging some of the striking exchanges, man. So I put my opinion out there, and they're like, hey, where do you then come from? Where do you then come from, Brian, our conversation? And I'm like, nah, I'm a fighter. And they're like, oh, liquor line, nah, really? And then I pull my phone up, and I start showing them videos, and they're like, yo, and he's like, look here, send me these videos. I want to have you on my podcast. And I send him the videos. And that was the weekend. By the Monday, I had an EFC contract. So he passed my stuff on to Graham. They obviously saw who I was, and then that's how I got my EFC contract.
Oh, Al Bishop, like
you see how God works.
You're crazy. But you see how God has already paid him back. That man runs Submission Kings now, man. Look how successful he is.
He paid it forward.
But look how it came back to him, man. Look how successful he is. Look at how he's got his own promotion now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's a successful brilliant. I watch it. It's awesome.
Yes, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like entertaining.
And
And
it's-
it's dope for our South
It's
Africa.
what we needed.
Yeah.
In the grappling world, it's what we needed.
Submission Kings is brilliant, like. But yo, check out smooth. All these bro. And what is the charges that he's in a flipping gets in your Uber?
He gets in my Uber. He gets in my Uber. That's how I get my AFC contract.
Man, bro.
Then I leave Uber. I say, nah, I'm done. I can thinking okay, I can survive on this EFC money. It was good for a while. Till I left my parents' house. Then I was like, hey. But like I don't know if I shared this with you also, but like when I left my parents' house, I'm gonna put a little bit of figures out there so that there's a comprehension that can be made.
Yeah.
I just finished Umpisabeka with a flying kick.
One of the most spectacular
Finishes,
moments
yeah.
in EFC history.
Yeah.
They play it still today.
Yeah.
They play. You see that
It was
kick all the
that
time.
year.
If you put in EFC kick, that will come up like
Yeah.
that photo will come up as an image.
Absolutely. I always wanted to drop kick someone in the face.
Epic
Like the
moment.
wrestling drop kick. Like I used to be a fan of like Randy Orton and Chris Benoit. The drop kick like the 2 feet. Yeah.
And yeah, what's the chances you wondering? But you gave a more spectacular one because you gave the Spider-Man, the Anderson Silva spider kick almost like it was almost like an up kick, wasn't it?
It was more. I actually just ran. I basically
It was
ran.
almost like up and towards like that. It's like
what
a push.
I felt like for myself was I felt like I'm gonna run through this bra now.
Just say
I am
EFC. Just say EFC.
You can also just say Faeez Jacobs.
Faeez Jacobs.
EFC Faeez Jacobs. Yeah. I thought in my mind what I visualized was I'm gonna run through this bra now. It don't matter
So you
what.
going
I
through
was
him.
just running towards him. No matter what I was gonna just run towards him and find a way to basically there we go. Bottom right.
Yeah. There's
And how epic is that picture,
Yo,
man?
bruh. It's a sweet picture. That's why I thought it's always like a push kick up. It's like a push kick up. Just leave it there. Look there. Your feet is like wrapping
Girl,
around
yes.
you, like on the jaw actually, like bam. Hectic.
I literally ran full speed at him, and that's what my mind told me to do. Kick him in the head. Kick him in the head. Because I rocked him with the jab.
So obviously you go through the ups and then
Then that was a big moment. And then
you got a few wins under your belt.
that win actually came after a loss. That win came after I fought Nerikse Moose.
Is it?
Nerikse Moose was that fight where I got cut. I got cut badly. It was in Cape Town.
Okay.
You know, this is just a funny thing to note. Most of my losses in the EFC came from home fights. I lost to Kel at home.
Yeah, I remember.
And I lost to Nerikse Moose at home. Like that, it's just a funny statistic. And then some of my great performances was in Joburg, because that is in Joburg where I kicked Umpi in the face. Sure. Anyway, so I came. That is actually the time where the first time I actually felt afraid in the EFC.
After knockout.
After that loss, because I had 20. I had how much stitches did I have in my face? 7, 8, and 3. 7, 8, and 3. How much is that? 18 stitches in the face.
So how was it like here?
It's like here and here, and then in my hairline. So that was from one fight. So I was bleeding profusely in that fight, and the recovery from that took me like, to be cut like that, you can't shower, you can't like wash your face properly. It starts scabbing. When the cut look nice when it's fresh, but when the cut starts scabbing, it don't look nice. It's very dry, and that was one of that moments where I had to be like, hey, is this something I want, man? Is this something I want? I didn't feel that I didn't want to be in that fight. The whole time when I was in that fight, I loved that fight. I loved the difficulty. I didn't mind bleeding. I didn't mind being elbowed. I didn't mind having adversity. I didn't mind being tired. I was ready to go till death do us part, bro. That's when I signed for a fight. That's the agreement I make. Yeah. But after that, in the recovery, that recovery was hard. That was a hard recovery because my face was busted up for a long time. I couldn't train for a while. It messed with your mind, man. Because like for me, training is a very big part of my mental health, man.
Yeah.
Like I need it. I need to train. I can't not train. So for me to have been away and to sit with all that stuff and like I was coming off 2 wins. I was big at that time. Like I was one of the Cape Town guys that was gonna do very well. And then that fight happened. But funny enough, the fans felt that I actually gained a lot of fans after that fight because I think I showed like, hey, this is in my heart, man. And then then I was afraid in the lead up to the Umbisabeko fight. I wasn't afraid of fighting him, man. I think this is the first time that this is literally only my second loss ever. In like probably like almost 30 fights. Yeah. My second loss ever. That's kickboxing, boxing, all that moments. Like I only lost against that other boxer, and that's because like he was much shorter than me, so it was difficult to deal with. But yeah, number one, I didn't know how to get up when somebody took me down. I didn't know how to I think I knew how to throw triangles and arm bars. That was my main thing. My sweeps didn't work on him. So it was like I was purely on the defensively.
Yeah.
So all that in my head, like at the moment I didn't feel scared in the lead up. It's only when I had to walk out that I felt yay. But okay, that could have just been like some sense of like maybe my body had a bit of a trauma response.
Yeah.
But I knew that my mind wanted it more than anything, man. My mind and my heart wanted it more than whatever negative things were spinning in my mind. So I talked myself through that. And the moment of the fight where I fought Umpi, where just before I finished him, he hit me with something, and I think he said to me, "How do you like that?" or something like that, or some he gave me some cocky remark, and I looked at him and said, "I'm gonna finish you now." And I looked him dead in his face, and I think he just finished throwing a combination, and I was content on going chest to chest with him now. Now we're gonna strike. Now we're gonna see who's gonna go down first, man. You can land on me and put up at me and hit me with soft shots. The shot's not hurting me. Just the knuckle is maybe bruising me a little, but you're not dinging me. You're not hurting me. And I have insane cardio, so to rock me takes like, you must hit me with a baseball bat. I don't know. I don't think I've ever been rocked ever, man. And then I hit him with a jab as he stepped in. And that's when he started to wobble. That's when that kick followed up.
There's never been a boring Faeez fight. I want to tell you that. And I think that is like a distinguishing... Irshad's been one of South Africa's best exports and stuff like that. But his style and your style is different. And your style is an exciting style. Even the way you get on the mic, it's just something else, man. You bring something else to the sport, and it would be good if other promotions could really see that side of you. Yes. Because has there ever been a boring fight that you've been? I don't think so. You always bring that's why when you said you're scared, I was like, huh? Because you don't always come out yes, I'm enjoying this. Let's go. It's never
that fear lasted for the walkout. Once I got in the cage, that fear was gone.
Is some of those moments, are you being fake by saying by going even the post that I might be are you pushing that out, or do you feel
that's me extinguishing my doubt. That's the last moment before I step in the cage where I'm releasing every bit of me that doesn't want to be there or is doubting or anything. That is me throwing that out. You can, even when I train and I reach my limit, everything in my body wants to shut out now. I scream. I refuse to stop. I refuse. You don't tell me what to do. I'm in charge here. You don't tell me. If I must do 11 push-ups, my body wants to quit at 10, I will scream until I finish that 11th push-up. I won't quit. That is what I'm releasing before I walk into that cage. I need to get that out. Because when I get in there, I'm gonna I want you to feel that every breath of oxygen I take, I'm attacking you. I have 100 different ways to attack you from 100 different angles and 100 different attacks to throw at you. And I want to get that out there before the fight is over.
Yeah, that's one interesting thing that I think you want to fight. You always on the attack, you only on the defense. You don't see that within a fight. What's the fight that you lost the title? Who was that?
It was Sylvester.
And then there was another one recently or so. The title was on the line.
Yeah, that was Zindile.
Zindile,
yeah.
When that fight ended, you were on top of him.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
I was
obviously he was taking you down from a wrestling.
I didn't pull the trigger correctly there, man. Now here's something that we must just take into account. When I changed camps, a lot of things changed for me. Also, when I became champion, that's just before COVID.
Yeah.
Like before COVID happened, I was the man. Like literally, like sponsors was coming in. There was real talks of real opportunities. Things were starting to look big for me. Like I was attracting a lot of attention at that time. People liked what I was doing. They liked the run I was on. I was dominant. I even applied to the Ultimate Fighter after that. And like if it hadn't been for COVID, I would have been on that Ultimate Fighter. Now that's how much things that happen you don't really see.
Yeah.
And for me, I started when I became champion and COVID happened, that belt meant nothing. And I felt like at some point I started to resent that belt. I gave my everything to get that belt. I sacrificed. Sure, you won't even believe it, man. When I fought Cal, my granny died that week. I sacrificed family time. I sacrificed birthdays. I sacrificed so much. And when the world stopped, that belt offered me nothing. I had nothing, bro. I had nothing. When I'm telling you I had nothing, like my money was running out and I almost had nothing left. Like I had to stand in a Sasa line. That's not a joke, man. It's not a joke for somebody that has been chasing a goal for years, man. Blood, sweat, tears, years. 6 hours, 7 hours a day training. Bleeding, man. Bleeding for it. Putting my reputation, my life on the line. And to stay at that belt, man. And like, bruh, food parcels, man, bro. Food parcels. That's a painful place to be, man. And sometimes we were eating supper by my in-laws or by my parents. That made me resent the belt, man. I think that made me a little bitter. I'm being dead honest, and I didn't approach the sport the same after that. For a while, took me a long time to heal from that, because that was a very painful heartbreak. Because I gave this my everything, and at the end, when it was supposed to be worth the most, it was worth nothing. That was ridiculous. Then I split from my original coach, and we went through a lot together. We went through a hell of a lot together, and I don't think people understand what it means to be a coach sometimes. And that relationship you have, athlete coach. If my coach told me, my bro, you're gonna run this 2-meter hill 20 times, I would say yes, coach. Yeah. I'll do that, man. I'll do that. I don't care if my ankle break if I must do it. I'll do it. That's the type of trust you put in him. Sometimes when it comes to a fight and he tell you, hey, take this fight, I say yes, man. I say I'll do it. Let's go now. You say I can do it, I'll do it. A week, no, it doesn't matter. 3 days doesn't matter. I'll do it. And people underestimate what that relationship can sometimes mean. And now having all that losses piled up, having my whole trust structure, everything now different. Everything was just different. And I don't think I had the time to settle into my camp to defend the belt. And now I still had that bitterness on my shoulders also. I took took a grave lesson and I took a grave loss for that. It was a big loss. I put Dana White, watch my fight on my chest. That was the bra I was before COVID. That's the bra I thought I still was. You understand what I mean? Yeah. I couldn't identify it exactly. Now I can. In hindsight, everything's 2020 in hindsight. But looking back now, I know what the recipe is, man. I know what the recipe is. At some point, I lost trust with myself. In this game, it don't work, man. In this game, before you put trust in anybody else, you have to put trust in yourself. I am that mad lighty, man. I am that mad lighty that will fight on a week's notice. I am that mad lighty that will come, that was willing to give everything. I am that mad lighty that spent his last money on a boxing bag. I am that mad lighty that in high school decided to be a vegetarian just so he can see what his body's capable of. I am that lighty that ran 5 to 7 kilometers Monday to Thursday. Hit the bag for an hour and then pumped weights with my friend. We only had 2 5 kgs. 2 5 kgs, we're going to pump arms the whole time and we're going to squat and we're going to do sit-ups. That's all we're doing. And we're doing that Monday to Thursday. 3 hours of training. Because I knew where I was headed. Because you know what? My mentor a long time ago, Bruce Lee, bro. Bruce Lee told me if you have a goal, you do something towards it every day. And I followed that man's advice since I was 16 years old.
Why did you?
Losing that commitment to myself,
Why?
That was my biggest loss.
Why did you lose that commitment to yourself?
I lost that commitment to myself because when COVID came, I didn't feel like a man. Financially. I felt like I couldn't, I had a woman to provide for and I failed in that regard. And that broke me down in ways that people can't even imagine.
So you lost trust in who you are?
I lost trust, I lost faith. I lost faith in who I was. Because that brat, I thought it was the brat, but it was the circumstances. I take an extreme amount of responsibility for my life and how things end up.
I think people need to see that part of life. It's very important to see that part because people always see people winning, man. And like the fake facade on social media out there. But you saying the having not to be able to provide for your family, it's like a heavy burden to I can sometimes I imagine that in my mind and it's like, just being able to, if I lose my job, that can happen. My family can't eat. I understand. I understand it. I can imagine it, but you've been there to that dark place.
Yeah.
So that they have that resentment.
My identity felt completely empty. Champion of what?
Yeah.
Champion of what?
Champion
for who? Champion for who? I can now go doing up around the street, but it's not gonna get me money. It's not gonna put food on my table. So what is I strong for what? I got all this capability of inflicting violence, but for what? That was something that I needed to recover from. And it took me a long time. It took me losing the belt, seeing it on somebody else, going overseas, opening a gym. It took me all of that to see it clearly, why certain things happen, and how do I come out on the better side of that, and what this really means to me. Like I won't say I had an easy road because I worked damn hard, but some of the results came to me easy. But this was so in my nature that I just loved it. I always loved fighting more than the other guy.
The results that came to you easy was talent. And then you added hard work, which made you extraordinary.
Yes.
And like sometimes like talent and hard work, as you meet talent and hard work in another bra, or he's got talent, hard work, and his mental fortitude at that stage is stronger than yours. And like,
here's what I think happened, man. I think fighting hurt me. I didn't love it the same. Fighting hurt me on a level that I can't explain, like an emotional level, And the thing that I loved, I felt like it turned its back on me. And maybe that's got something to do, maybe with maybe my childhood just blew up in some weird way. But that's what went wrong, man. I always felt when I fought somebody that I loved fighting more than he did. I loved this, man. Hit me, man, bro. Hit me, let's go. This is what I love for. I want to feel that shock up my spine when I get hit with a hard shot, man. I want to feel what happened when your knuckle hit me in the face. Let me feel that, man. Because it awakens something else in me, man. It's like, I can't even explain it, man. But it's, when you see me fight, you'll see it in my eyes.
I see it. I watch many fights. And exactly. The passion with which you fight is like, you want to be there. I even said it on this podcast. This brother wants to be here. The other brother is like thinking, you can see the look on some people's face, like, yo, they like thinking two-minded, like, do I really want to be here? Okay, yeah, they want to be here. But you, from the moment you get in there, you do your you know what I mean?
Super Saiyan.
Yeah, you go Super Saiyan, you do that, you smile with the crowd, you're like, yay, everything. And you just go in there with the flow, and then from the moment you get in there, you're like, it looks like you want to be in there, man. You're not like serious. It's like, hey, it is business.
Yeah.
But it's business and pleasure as well.
Yeah.
It's the pleasure of kicking somebody's ass. Like,
I find it to be the craziest game you can play. I'm a very competitive person, and I like testing myself and challenging myself. But for me, like, fighting is it's the highest high you can ever feel. The moments of, see, here's what happens to your body physiologically when you prepare for a fight, is you are now going into your animal brain. You are going into the part of yourself that's so primal. You're practically an animal. But now you need to tune that with higher level thinking, which is your human, the part of you that makes you human, your consciousness. So now what happens is your body starts preparing itself for survival. And have you ever seen an animal when it's trying to survive? Its instincts are second to none. Its
instincts are heightened, its senses are heightened.
Exactly. The level of which it can operate is 100-fold of what it usually does.
Yeah.
So you doing that over extended period of time, and you seeing yourself in that place, you visiting that moment over and over again, and it stirs up this thing. There's an energy you feel, and you start to feed off that. And then when fight night comes, your instincts are so in tune, it feels like everything's happening in slow motion, but it's happening within an instant. You throw a punch, you see the guy punch, you notice the sweat fly, but automatically into the next sequence already. It's like being in a dream, but you awake. It's like being in a game, but you playing the game. Yeah. It's the most exhilarating thing ever. And because the consequences of fighting is so real, because making a mistake is so severe, it just means it's so much more rewarding. The counter side of that means when you land that punch, the feeling you get, it's like I'm edging myself forward now. I think you feel every emotion under the sun when you're in that cage. You feel life at its peak when you're in that cage. It's like the highest high you can imagine.
People are shouting and you just loving it.
Yeah, like sometimes I don't even hear the crowd.
You don't hear the crowd?
Sometimes I don't even hear the crowd. Sometimes I get back into the moment. Like there's moments where I was gone for a second now, and I wasn't driving. Troublemaker was driving. My presence was just there. I just tune into a energy frequency, and that frequency just lets me be this fighter. I just know it's like a switch. It's like a switch. And sometimes this fighter is in complete control. I just trust and I just act. When something happens, I just act. That's all. I just act. That's how it is. Act, move, feel. Act, move, feel. It's
Are you
the best thing.
are you transitioning now from fighter to trainer to coach?
That's a very interesting conversation. And I'll tell you this, the role of a fighter and a coach is completely opposite. It's completely opposite. A fighter is a very selfish role. A coach is a very selfless role. So a fighter, there's things that you'll do. Like as a fighter, you'll work on your confidence. You'll work on your speed and your power and your presentness and your flow. And when you're a coach, you need to find how to unlock that in other people. How do you guide them to their best self? And all people don't respond the same way. You need to actively pursue what makes them great. You need to be so empathetic that you need to help them find something that they haven't yet found in themselves. And it's an amazing journey. It really is. It's just very different to fighting. And having to balance going from one to the other can sometimes be conflicting. But I'll tell you this, it's been one of the most rewarding things I've ever done. For my martial arts game and also in life. Because I can feel I genuinely make people's lives a little bit better. Some people's lives I feel like I can even make a lot better. I feel like I help them see things in themselves that they didn't know was there. And to me that is I don't want anything from that.
You've got the abundance of experience in the ring. So I mean that value, nobody like that moments that you were explaining like that. I can imagine these moments like slightly, but there's a heightened experience that what you experience that I will never be able to experience. You know what I mean?
Yes.
There's a heightened to it, so I will be able to experience on a lower level some form of high. But the heightenedness to the way you experience it, whereas this each slipping of the jab was like, if I don't, the consequences is
And you know what's insane is I can identify those moments in them. I can identify when certain things happen for them. I can identify when things click for them. I can identify when they're having mental struggles. I can identify when they're afraid of being punched. I can identify when they have a flaw. I can see body mechanics from across the room and I can know where he's struggling. He maybe has an injury, he didn't tell me, but I can see his knees acting up. I can tell why his left hook is not as good as his right punch. Because there's a certain way he's not throwing his hip. His weight management is off here. His elbow is turned at the wrong angle. Why is his jab landing so good? I can identify why, because he steps in the right way. When he steps in also, he steps through a certain space and he beats the other guy's timing, and that's why his jab is landing all the time. There's something he can see with his jab that he can't see with his rest of his punches. So now I tell him, follow your other punches behind your jab. Then you can see it. Because I know you can see, but only through your jab. Now you need to learn to use that vision of timing from your jab to set up the rest of it.
So with all that, like, are you still focused on yourself being a fighter?
Absolutely.
Are you gonna still have another fight soon?
Yeah. So I am fighting the 9th of May. So I'm in fight camp now.
Okay.
I'm in fight camp now. I'm making a run at the title. I was supposed to basically my last fight was supposed to be a number 1 contenders fight, but I'm taking another one.
Did you fight Zulu already?
Before, yeah. I won the belt from Zulu.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was my fight.
Yeah,
I won the
Zulu,
belt.
you got the belt from Zulu,
Yes. So
and Azula has the belt again.
Azula has the belt again. You know what? I have so much damn respect for Zulu.
Oh, well, yeah.
Because Zulu stayed consistent with it. He stayed consistent with it. I really
Double champ though.
Yeah, he's double champ. And he put in the he put in the work. He never gave up on himself. Well done to him. Well done to him. Do I still think I can win that fight? Absolutely. I think I can win that fight.
Yeah. Now then, if you making a run at the title, it will be quite fun. Yo, if
Just ask the question, Joe.
what?
Just ask the question. Ask the question. You know the question. No?
When you fighting?
No, not when am I fighting.
What? Who you fighting?
There we go. That's the question. Bro.
Who you fighting?
I am fighting. The EFC hasn't released it yet, but it's agreed to on my side. It's
Signed
agreed,
on your side.
It's agreed to on his side. Verbal agreement so far. So like I'm just waiting for the contract. But I'm 100% in, and I think he's 100% in also. It's a rematch. Take a guess.
Who can it be? It can't be international.
No, it's not international. It's local. It's local.
Who did you fight in Cape Town?
It's no, not Cape Town. It will be in EFC. It'll be in EFC. So I'm rematching Sylvester Chimfumbu. Good stuff, no? Good stuff, no?
Yes, I thought he's gone to UAE or something like that.
I mean, he was gone, but he's back now.
Okay.
He recently fought Ndile.
Is it?
And he beats Ndile.
Did he beat Zendile?
He beats Ndile, yeah. So,
Okay.
So now it's him and I. It's we fighting each other now. Number one contender.
Oh, that's a good fight.
That's a good fight.
That's a good fight. The last time, I'm going to be super honest here. Last time, what was I feeling? I felt, and there's a lot of these, there's Owens, I don't know if he's also under Chris Bright. Their wrestling is like,
Who you talking about, Ndile or
who is
Sylvester?
Sylvester? No, Sylvester's with, what's his name? With,
When I fought him, it was with Temba and the Mob.
Timba and them, yeah. Okay, then I'm getting confused. I'm getting Chris Bright's Owens confused with Timba.
Yeah.
Okay, so phew.
You obviously watched that fight, no?
I watched that fight. Yeah,
Give me your perspective on that fight.
he gave it. You always in it. But yeah, I did think he beat you and stuff like that. But again, it was on the grappling. I can't remember. I'm not sure. I'm thinking that he got you on the grappling. But for the striking and stuff like that, and I think he keeps a distance with his kicks.
Yeah.
With his long kicks or something like that. I'm not. He's got this like weird like whoopee kick that he tries to keep his distance on you. And I didn't think you could get close. But you must just like. There's a style that Drickus is doing that you can assert that you have, so they can do. It's the Joe Rogans and some people of the world call it it's unconventional, unorthodox. It's a South African style of rugby, bruh. It's a blitzkrieg. It's something it's called moving forward, not giving you opportunity space to move the other. It's a move forward tactic, and I don't know. I like it. That's your way of fighting. Then do it. But in that fight, I don't think you did that a lot of the time. Like you weren't like engaging like move forward. Or if you do, you get shot.
You were shooting on me
to your back. Or
He did well. He did well at containing me.
Yeah.
So whenever I try to create basically chaos, I try to create my moments. Then what he does is he just shot on me. Shot on me, held me down like
wrestling, like hooking the leg.
Yes, barely didn't land a lot of ground and pound. Just took me down.
But they see that as like ring dominance.
That's
especially
control.
If you take you down and stuff like that.
From an
you
MMA
like it and it drags you down.
From an MMA perspective, he definitely won that fight 100%, and he won most of the rounds. Also, I give him that. But I also know what I'm capable of, and I know some of the mistakes that I made in that fight.
Some don't allow you to fight your fight.
Yes,
I think he did good at that. He stopped you from fighting your fight.
Yes.
There's just like a better camp or styles makes fights. But I mean, you got a lot of different skills now.
Yeah.
In your At that time,
I don't want to talk too much. But
this is what you mean this is it? I know it is better. I've seen it. I've seen it grow. I've seen your grappling in it grow in now recent fights and stuff like that. Everything. Because when you started out, you were basically stand up.
Yeah.
Even until a lot of your pro fights, even when you in the EFC,
Yeah.
even when Cal choked you. Cal will never able to do that to you nowadays. You know what I mean? When he kills you stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was just because you weren't
training grappling.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You never had the knowledge.
I had 6 months of grappling when I went to the EFC. 6 months of active grappling when I went to the EFC.
And Cal was like rolling.
Yeah.
He was like,
look, I knew when that choke was on. But I ignored the first rule. The first rule is survive. Survive, defend, improve, control, finish. I ignored the first rule. When I felt his hand around my neck, I felt like when I grabbed Cal against the fence the first time, I felt I was so much stronger than him. Like, I can manhandle this, bruh. Like, that's how I felt to Cal. And I felt like when I did manhandle him, I felt like he was starting to, I could feel his energy starting to suck a little bit.
Now you lit him up. You lit him.
I cut him open with the elbows.
And you lit him up and he was like, oh shit.
Like there was a
moosey punch.
There was a moment.
So that's why he wanted to grapple for the rest of the fight. He was like, fuck, I'm not gonna stand.
Even when I had him, I took his back and like I did something that most people wouldn't. I didn't go for the choke. I laid over half on my side and I started throwing knives like I was stabbing him in the top of his head. Like I was throwing elbows at him. And eventually he got the top position and then he started landing some ground and pound. And then I got the moment and I shot on the single. And when I shot on the single, I felt him creep his hand in. And the first time I moved my neck out of the way and then I shot the single again. Then he crept his hand in again. And I should have rather lost the position than try and force that single. But I tried to force that single. I was like,
grab his leg again.
Because I believed that I was so much stronger than him. So I was like, he's not going to choke. This brother said, no way is brother going to choke me. And then when he got the choke on, then only I realized my back is against the cage. I can't move now. And then I heard the 10-second clapper go off. I was like, I can survive. And then next thing I know, I woke up and he's celebrating.
That happened the other day to me in the class. There's one with learning this blood choke.
Yes.
So we put it on the first time. The brother's like, nah, don't have it on. Put it on the second time. The brother's like, nah, you don't have it on. The third time I put it like this, I just
yeah.
what's going on here? I'm like, oh shit. But I panicked, man, because I never knew what had happened.
Yeah.
Because twice before he said, nah, it's like not on.
Yes.
So I thought, yo, this brother having like a epileptic fit
but,
or something
snap.
like that. I'm like, oh, coach, what's going on here? Like, the coach like, nah, don't worry, man. It's lifting the brother's legs up. Like, I was like, oh, shit. I'm not used to that. Like, anyway.
And some people snore when you choke them out.
Yeah, he went straight
really snore.
But he was going like almost like it's like sound like an epileptic fit, but it's just like I don't know why do people snore when you choke them?
Because they're sleeping. I had a dream. I had a vivid dream when Cal choked me out. I had a dream.
You were like in the clouds.
I had a dream. I was like riding a bicycle, like I was riding a bicycle in my dream, and like it was like a beautiful sunny day, and then I wake up and I'm like. Yeah,
everybody's like, oh,
no. I know what happened.
It's funny, man. Yo, it's been a long journey, bro.
Yeah,
it's
been years. It's been years.
You got a gym, like your own gym.
Yeah.
You got your own gym in Plumstead. We can be.
Yes, please.
I see your classes is quite full already.
Yeah.
But you moved from a smaller place to a bigger place.
Yeah. We couldn't.
Congratulations.
We couldn't help. We couldn't cope with the capacity. Myself and Lucille, the co-owner, my fiance.
Yes.
Yeah, we put in though. We work so hard, man. We worked so hard for this, man. Like people don't even realize we were This is my life for 2 weeks at some point. So we were setting up the new gym while coaching classes at the old gym. So we get there in the morning and we have like this 150 square meter place to paint. And it's her and I that's painting alone. We're painting one wall and the whole floor. And we're painting throughout the day. And I think we painted for like 4 days. Throughout the day, we leave an hour and a half before class, go home, literally like clean ourselves up, go to class, coach class, get home, sleep, wake up the next morning, same thing, on repeat. And thankfully we got it done.
But I told you earlier, it's like this is a labor of love, right? That's what it is. Like I mean, you it's so much better to do something that you're passionate about, something that you love doing, rather than, like I said earlier, like working in the office 18 hours, like.
Yeah.
And good on you guys for sticking at it, man. I mean, it's been a while since like I met you. The first time I met you on a scooter, like I came up to you and I was like, "Hey, are you the troublemaker?" And you were so lekker with me. You were like, "Yeah, I'm the troublemaker." I was like, "Yo, nah, pleased to meet you, man." I saw you on EFC and I loved it. Like I was like, "Yo, I enjoyed your fight from the first time I watched you fight." I was like, "Nah, this bruh's why he's there to fight. He's enjoy, and I still enjoy the fights every time." Now it stays because I know you. It's a bit weird. Like it's a bit
nervousness.
This is awkward. Like why do you do that wrong? Come on, man. But in the moment, I mean, like whom I took armchair quarterback, I'm like a nobody. But it feels so awkward. Like I don't know. But it's awesome.
It's a nerve-wracking feeling. Man.
Yeah, but it's also awesome. Like you watched your brothers fight. Like
I watched you watch my fight. I watched you. The last one where I fought Barros.
Yeah.
I watched you watch that fight. What did you say? You want a box, bruh?
He thought he can stand and bang with you. I think he underestimated your stand up.
He had long arms, man. He had mad long arms, and he was hitting his hands from his waist. So, like when you punch from your face, you can see when the person's gonna punch because the punch comes in a straight line. But when you throw the hands from the hip,
it comes from a
different trajectory. So now it comes up. Yeah. So you don't see it like till it's mid range.
Yeah.
And I think in the first like couple seconds, he caught me with a jab. I was like, okay, I must respect this bruh striking. I must respect his striking, but I'm gonna figure my way out around him. I'm gonna chop him, and eventually I'm gonna start to see what's happening.
So the difficulty with obviously striking from a lower position is that you can now get to his face quicker.
Yes.
And I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
Because he underestimated your speed in that space. Because you think he's faster getting to there.
Yes.
But you were faster, boom.
Yeah. In the beginning, I wanted him to reach a little bit more, man. Because as he was reaching, I was hurting him with the shots that I was catching him with. Because my shots was landing clean. And he was trying to hit something that wasn't there. So like I knew I wasn't rush it because I didn't need to give him a reason to get into the fight. There was no reason for it. Like there was moments where I felt like, yeah, I can put some gas on the Oh, is this the comments? Is this these live comments?
Yeah, Teresa Combring, we can read out some. Alistair. We got a few people there. Alistair, time. The EFC, a lot of EFC people, Carl, Naidu. You know some of these people? Nestle Fredericks.
He's a phenomenal legend, such a humble guy. Started my weight loss in kickboxing where he was an open field before having a dojo. Faeez is so kind, true gentleman, kind-hearted, yet so hardcore. Appreciate that, man. That's Patrick's one of my training partners.
Is it?
Yeah, watching you. We can't wait for your new fight. You go, double maker. Troublemaker. Hey, and there's my.
Nice, man. Liquor. So yeah, we can't wait for your next fight. Yo. So you're gonna fight soon. 9th May. Oh.
Look, I'm 29 now. I'm 29 now, so I'm in my prime.
Yeah.
I'm in my prime. My prime
Just
can last.
coming up to your prime.
My prime can last another 5 to 6 years. That's if most things go right. So I must get into the UFC now. And I need to be selfish on the journey. And I need to go through whoever, whenever, whatever. I just need to get to where I need to go. And I need to be champion so that when the moment comes and they need someone to call, I'm there. They know my name already. Man. They know my name. Like EFC showed me this folder one time, and I'm the cover of the folder with Dream, Believe, Achieve. And that's when they were having a meeting with the UFC. They're like, I'm on the cover there, bro. Every time you open that folder, you see my name.
I see, because you in your South African attire, you got your South African face thing.
No, that wasn't that one. That was the one that I had. Dream, Believe, Achieve. Yeah, across its face.
Because they do know you, man.
Yeah. Nah, my time is coming. My time is coming.
That's still the goal to get to the UFC.
That's still the goal. It has to happen. It has to, in this lifetime that I'm not gonna life at the end of life. I'm not gonna get the second try. It's gonna be over. I'm gonna die. And the people around me, everything's gonna cease to exist at some point. Everything in my capacity, and that means that my human life, this one human life that I've been given, I decided I'm gonna be in the UFC. I decided I'm gonna be a UFC champion. And I'm gonna keep that promise to myself. Come what weather, come what circumstances, and I'm gonna fight through it all.
It was such a awesome moment when Trikus was on stage, and then he handed you the UFC belt. And you took the UFC belt and you sniffed it how did you get this, bro? Why are you smelling the belt?
I'll tell you why I smelled it. No? I can identify MMA by a smell. When I walk into the arena, I can smell the leather. I can smell the leather, the ink of the print, things that's just been printed on. That smell comes across to me, and cold steel. Cold steel has a smell. It's got a certain aroma. That to me is how MMA smells. So I needed to know what that belt smelled like, so that I can identify it. And that belt smelled just like the cage. It smelled exactly like the cage. It smells like the canvas. It smells like the cold steel. It smells like the leather. Everything about,
talking about.
I knew what that belt was going to smell like.
Distinctive smell. It's like this.
Yes. Even now thinking about it, I can feel like there's a warm feeling that comes at the back of my head. Like it's like almost as if my reptilian brain is switching on. That smell I can identify. That's why I needed to know. I knew what that belt was going to smell. I knew it was going to smell like that, but I needed to smell it. Also, looking at that belt, I have never wanted to see anything in my life more than I wanted to see that belt.
Hold it.
And now I need to hold it for myself. I wanted to give that belt a kiss, but that's not mine. When it's mine, I'll kiss it.
You hold it in your hands, huh? And now a South African flag goes on there.
Now a South African flag goes on there.
Because of Trikus got the opportunity, but you also gonna back that up.
I have to. I wanna test myself against the best guys, and I wanna display what I have to put on for display. I wanna show martial arts as I have as an artist. Like this for me is the ultimate form of self-expression. Like when I get to do this, I get to play a symphony. I get to paint that beautiful piece of art that will be seen for millennia to come. I get to make that speech that free people's hearts. You know what I mean? People need to see me be this, so that I can add that energy to humanity. Understand what I'm saying? Like that.
Yeah.
People need to see your potential awaken. People need to see your passion. People need to see your love for something. They need to see your authenticity, because those moments echo in eternity, man.
Yeah, that instills hope in others.
Exactly.
That's what you do. You instill in hope and belief in others. If you can achieve and believe and what dream, believe, achieve.
Yes.
Like you said there, if you can do that, so can they.
Yes.
And if you can do it on this epic scale of fighting, they can just do it in an ordinary sense, like going to work. Dream, believe, achieve.
Yes.
In your goals at work. Dream, believe, achieve in getting a better house. Dream, believe, achieve in maybe getting a car.
Yes.
Having a better relationship.
Yes.
In any other things, man. In any form you.
In business.
In business, you can take that same methodology or that same thinking and apply it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people take from some fight.
Yes.
At least that's
I think that's what I'd hope for them to see. I've loved a very interesting life, and I didn't know how abnormal it was and extraordinary it was until till I felt like I was without it for a long period of time. Did I start noticing what it was like to experience life from almost a normal perspective? Get up, eat, sleep at a certain time, push yourself in a certain way, do this to complete this. But what I was doing was like literally trying to better myself every day, trying to be a version of myself that's constantly related to the best. I don't even know how to explain. Look, I'm gonna lie, tears in my eyes there, man. That was a mad moment for me. That was a mad moment for me.
Oh, Jam behind you. Oh, Jam doing there. Like, Jam was everywhere. Like,
Yo, that was insane. Man. That trust, I really appreciate that trust, man. Because you don't let anybody touch your belt, man. You really don't let anybody touch your belt. That's something that I believe. I don't just let anybody touch my belt, man.
I think he's passing the baton to you. His belt is like him passing literally. That's how I would ask.
I think he likes my fight style, man.
Yeah, definitely.
I think
he's a similar. Just go stand in, bang, and let's go forward. Move forward. Don't give space and let's go.
I don't even know if people know how good Driekus really is, man. Like from my perspective, like what they can't see is he can fight from both stances, and he always fights off the center line. Yeah. That alone is very difficult to accomplish. That's why it looks like he's off balance sometimes, because he will throw combinations from both stances and switch stances mid combination. That takes an insane amount of balance and coordination, and also creativity. I think that's where him and I are similar. Is I'm a creative fighter. I think he's a creative fighter also.
Have you trained with him yet?
No, I haven't. I'd love to. I'd love to do some
mad fit sometimes.
I'm gonna invite him. Yeah, I'd love to like imagine a couple stand-up rounds with Driekus. That would be insane.
Invite him, bro. Do it. Like, insane, shoot your shot. Don't.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Yeah.
Just message him and say,
I'll just have a look at his stories, and then when he's in Cape Town, I'll pop him a message.
Yeah, tell him stick.
I'd love to throw a couple of punches back and forth.
I mean, he's a liquor. You can see the type of dude he is. He'll just pop in for like.
I also think we'll feed off each other's energy, man. Yeah. Like I'm that kind of, look, I love martial arts. If you love martial arts, we'll get along. That's how it is for me. Like if you love martial arts and you a genuine person, we'll get along.
You see how Chad lost the weekend, Chad Simon.
Yeah.
He lost the weekend. It's quite a tough one. It is Driekus' part, but I mean, that's all part
of
the game.
Cameron Simon,
Cameron,
yes.
That's a Chad.
You said Chad, yeah.
That's a Chad.
Look, the guy that he fought,
Getting Simon's.
That was a tough fight. I watched that fight a couple times.
This weekend?
Yeah, I watched that fight a couple times. I woke up to watching that fight.
I woke to watch the fight and then you watched it afterwards.
I watched it again. I was just thinking from myself.
I think he caught the knee in the first round.
But that guy could see his timing. Every time Cameron Simon did something. He saw. I think that guy's name is Peyton.
Yeah.
Peyton saw exactly what he was gonna do before he did it, like as he was doing it. So I think that I think he did well. That being said, I think he should have added a little bit more. Like you wanna sometimes display body language for somebody to see, but it's not real. So I want to show you something that you want to see me wanting, you want to see intention behind it. When I,
when you do
yeah,
like
so I'm going to show you an intention. And when I show you that intention, I want you to react to that intention because my intention is actually different. So I felt like at some point that guy put on so much pressure on him that he wasn't able to open his game, man. So I think with a little bit of faking, I think he could have come back into that fight. That being said, that guy's timing was impressive, and also that guy had an ability to move slowly and explode. Like he was, boom. And he was just on target.
You're analyzing a lot. You seem like you're analyzing a lot of fights. Like you're watching fights a lot. Like
I watch fights like over and over and over. Sometimes I'll come home on a weekend and I'll go watch like all GSP's fights. Like just 5 GSP fights or like 5 Anderson fights. What was Anderson doing when he was at his best? When was his mind on? Did he look like he wasn't himself? What moments was he doubting himself? Where was he his best? Where was he not his best? Like I can appreciate that because I wanna appreciate the athlete for what they really are, man. They human beings that is expressing themselves on the highest level with the most amount of danger, and it's there's a lot that goes into it, not just in the fight, but the whole spectrum around that. You never know what was happening in their lives at that time, how they prepared for that fight. Did they look a little bit more in shape in this fight? Did they look a little bit less in shape in that fight? Like those details matter.
Yeah, I think you took us through all those details, like in your life and how difficult it was this evening. So I appreciate you sharing that bit with us, like how difficult it can be. Because like in South Africa, it's difficult, man. It must be probably one of the most difficult things to do, to be a fighter in this country. You know what I mean?
I think financial backing is a difficult thing. It's a difficult thing because like to eat alone for fight camp is mad expensive. You need to have quality. You can't just eat anything. You can't just eat bread. You can't just eat rice. You can't just eat any kind of pasta. You can't eat stuff that's gonna sit on you. You need to eat certain things at certain times. You need your coconut butters. You need your seeds. Like, I mean, have you seen what it costs for 100 grams of sunflower seeds? Like $30, man. Like, I mean that I finish in one meal. I throw that in my oats. I'm clear with that. Now I must eat that every day. You know what I mean? Like it accumulates to a lot, man. Like I can easily spend, I'll be honest with you, I can easily spend in the lead up to a fight on diet alone. Let's say I have 6 weeks. I can easily spend 5K on just eating. On myself, man. On myself. Like that's one bra alone. That's just eating. That's just fresh veg, fresh meats, different kind of, like, I'm eating the right stuff. I can't compromise on quality. I must.
It's important to you. Your diet is still important to you. I can hear. It's still important to you.
Yeah, no, it's
still eating the seeds and stuff like that, but yes. You got the meats also into the diet.
I'm back on meat, yeah. I'm back on meat, yeah.
You left it here for a while. I told you not to leave it. What was the reason why you went back to meats?
I didn't feel sustained for long.
Okay.
So my energy would just, at some point, that just was completely depleted. I used so much food up for energy that I just couldn't I couldn't keep up with the eating. Like I would have had to eat like the whole time.
Okay.
And it was just too much of a responsibility. Also, like
Obviously, as an athlete, you must fuel yourself more.
I was also starting to lean out a little bit too much.
Because as an athlete, you must fuel yourself more. So obviously, the less you fuel yourself, the more you're gonna lean out.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the whole.
I've been eating a bunch of organs though.
Easy. How's that?
Like liver and heart.
I heard about that being good. Yeah.
It's good because when you eat muscle, muscles have a lot of inflammatory properties. So now your body, when it breaks down things, your body doesn't go meat, nutrients. Your body goes meat, break down, and then turns into chemicals, and now your body uses that chemicals to absorb the nutrients. So with organs, like with muscles, there's a lot of inflammatory properties in muscles. So it is the transporter of the that transports the nutrients. Your body absorbs a lot of that.
Better in organs, from the organs.
No, I don't think I'm. So what I'm. Let me explain it again. I think I can get it a little bit more clear.
Here we go.
So when you eat the muscle, right?
A muscle
has a lot more.
His muscle is like a piece of meat, like
a muscle is like your thigh.
Yeah.
A breast.
Okay.
Your rib or whatever, but like it's not directly organ.
Yeah, organ is liver, heart, lungs, kidneys.
Yes, exactly. So when you eat a muscle, like muscles have a lot of inflammatory properties. So your muscles carry a lot of. So when your body breaks down muscles, it carries a lot of that inflammatory properties inside of it. So now it has that chemical to absorb inflammation. And the way our food gets treated, the care of which our food gets treated, what our animals eat, and where we get our chicken from, our meat from. I'm not going to expand on that too much, but
so there's a lot of inflammatory properties.
There's a lot of inflammatory and inflammation.
To obviously to make more meat, they put shit in it that is inflammatory in our body.
Exactly. And muscles,
salts and stuff like that.
Exactly. And injectables and all of those things. Yes. And on top of that, muscles already produce inflammation by themselves. Now you have all that added stuff in
inflammation.
Yeah. Inflammation. And inflammation is like the cause of most of your...
Yeah, there's so much people nowadays that say, oh, I'm eating a healthy diet and I'm eating meat and stuff like that, but I'm still gaining weight. It's a common thing like that. And but it's because of the type of food that they eat in. And it's like the inflammatory properties within the meats.
Exactly. And now they're not even gaining like healthy weight, they're gaining inflammation. Like all that
like sodium buildups and water.
And it's like basically it becomes like dirt in your body. Yeah. Like all this pus and all it's hard for your body to get rid of. And now it gives your body extra work. Now with organs absorb. What's the organ's job? Most of the time to absorb nutrients. So like the heart has
nutrient density. It's very nutrient dense. That's why in that movie, the Reverend in the Braai eat the heart.
Yes. So now the heart has properties that make more red blood cells.
Yeah.
You get where I'm going with this?
Yes.
Your liver has properties that's gonna allow you to absorb nutrients better.
Yes.
So now if you eat more of that, your body gets not the exact thing, but it also gets the transport mineral. So the thing that allows your body to absorb it. So like if you eat, for example, chicken liver. Now chicken absorbs nutrients through seeds. Now that liver has the properties to absorb. Now you eat from that. Now your body doesn't need to convert that liver to something that can absorb. It can absorb immediately. So your body can immediately start absorbing the nutrients and get rid of the waste. So you cut out like the middleman and you cut out the inflammatory properties.
You're doing a lot of research to keep eating the right stuff, and as a fighter, it's obviously more important than an average Joe like me. But yeah, I understand where you're going to. It's good. I see you putting in the research. I wanna be at the breakdowns and
at
stuff.
the highest possible level I can, man. And I wanna I want to keep expanding. I want to keep
You need to have a
growing.
knowledge of that, yeah.
Yes. And you do know in a lot of tribes, like the wolf tribe, when the alpha eats, he eats the heart.
Yeah. The heart is the organs are the most nutrient dense
Yes.
parts of the body. It's actually people actually back in the day they actually used to eat the organs and throw the meat away because that used to rot quickly and stuff like that.
Yes,
It was
exactly.
not like the good, and it didn't have any nutrients like in it all. Well, that's what they thought. The meat is actually the nice tasting. thing.
Yes.
It's like
Yes. It's delicious. It's marketable.
marketable.
It's
There we go.
marketable and it's financially feasible.
There we go. Marketable.
It makes people a lot of money. That's what it does.
All down to the marketable sugar.
Exactly.
Sugar. There we go. The biggest, baddest piece of poison ever. Like, it's super marketable.
It's delicious, bro. It's delicious. I can't lie. From time to time, sugar does it for me. So but in the end of it, it's the consequences are severe, man. But I also think like balance is necessary. Like don't just like I would encourage people to do research. So invest time into thinking about how certain food makes you feel. Like just do this. Keep a short, medium, long term schedule in your head of what you eat and how it made you feel. When you eat at McDonald's, how do you feel afterwards?
Terrible.
How do you feel afterwards?
Terrible.
Within the next 3 hours, within the next day, how do you feel? And then when you eat that salad, there's no dump. There's no dump in energy. You don't feel lethargic. You actually feel like you have energy to do everything now. So consider that when you eating. And then don't be afraid to put in a little bit of research because it will change your life. And people have this thing like they're gonna invest in their health at a later stage in life. By that time, you've already contracted the diseases. You've already hurt your body essentially. And if you couple that without putting in any exercise, your organs are weaker. You need that. To be healthy, you need good blood flow and oxygen. That's the two main components of being healthy.
Yeah, man. Sure. I don't know how many hours we covered. We covered quite a bit of hours. But I hear it all coming together, man. And the maturity. Since the first time we spoke diet. We always cover
Yes.
it. Like it's always
Yes.
important to you, and it's good. Like that we always cover it. But like the maturity in the other conversation is really good. It's good to hear how you evolved and I think lessons come harder to you than to others, man. You're forced to have harder lessons sometimes.
It's also sometimes
on a public stage.
on a global stage. bro. A global stage. And I have high expectations of myself. And when I say I want to live a remarkable life, I mean that. I hear a lot of people say it, but when I say it, I mean it. To my core, I mean it. I want to live life to the fullest, not recklessly, not cheap, but making sure that my human existence meant something. Like when I come face to face with God and he looks at me, I want him to be proud of what I did. Like I want him to be. You didn't waste it, bro. You didn't waste it. You pushed yourself. You conquered your adversity. Shit happened, but you came out on the better end of that.
Definitely.
You gave. You contributed to humanity. You made sure that people around you was always pushing themselves, always growing, and you just kept expanding. You kept evolving, and that's what I want my legacy to be. I don't see like winning belts and stuff like that. There was a time where I got a lot of praise, and I can tell you this: like praise is very cheap. It's appreciated, but if you live for praise can make you cheap. So you need to find where your integrity lies and where your value lies, and like really try to live a good life. Because I was the ignored child for most of my life. Not when I say ignore, I don't mean within my family dynamic. I mean like I moved schools 9 times. I was always the new bra, and I was always the bra, and people didn't know my name. Like, and I wanted that validation of being recognized. And when I got it, I realized like I needed to see my value within myself, man. That's what I needed. And once I got that, that was enough. I didn't need praise from other people. I feel incredibly grateful that I affect people's lives in a positive way. But that's my identity. That's who I want to exist as. That's more for me than it is for them, if I'm being honest. For me to know that I'm putting out something positive, because I have done a whole lot of negative, and I don't want to be that guy.
Nah, I don't think you've done. I think you've done more positive. At this standpoint, you've done more positive than negative, bro. You inspired so many people. Like the journey you're on, just to show people how you can come from where you can come from and to achieve what you achieved. You got your own gym, bro. You're a champion.
Yeah,
Being a champion, you're still a champion because there's people that will always feel that you were the champion.
Yeah,
there's some of us that seen you become the champion. So you know what I mean?
Yes,
so you're the champion.
You walk that journey with me.
Yeah, you're the champion.
You walk that journey. I feel like
good,
a champion.
Yeah, but it's also good for us also to see the opposite side of things. People must see like the ups and the downs. You can't just see things going positive all the time. But that's not life.
Yes.
Life is not just up all the time. Like it's not all just peaches and cream constantly. Sometimes you go up and sometimes you go down. And then sometimes you come up again. You know what I mean? And it's how you take that downs that make you able to go up again or do something dope.
It shows who you really are. You can learn a lot from who somebody is with their wins and who somebody is with their losses.
Their losses as well.
I heard a quote the other day and I thought it was on point. Adversity makes strong people stronger, and it makes weak people weaker. What happens when you fall, man? That shows your character.
Yeah.
How do you come back?
How do you come back?
How do you come back? I'm proud of a lot of the things that I do, and if I'm being honest, sometimes I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Sometimes, I sit there and I'm confused and I'm frustrated because I don't know if my efforts and my pursuit of what I'm doing and all the hard work that I put in is gonna amount to anything. I don't always know. Nah, I mean like, see, I'm gonna touch back on that.
I think you're thinking that financial,
not always,
but
not always
financial. The lives
financial.
that you've affected,
like yes, that's the lives that I've touched. But that's I can't love and be like, hey, I've done enough for my lifetime, done enough for my lifespan. And here's an interesting thing that I must also touch on here is like, how do I put this into words? Living up to my own legacy thus far, like having to live up to who I am is difficult. Who I was in the past, man. Like who the bra from yesterday, the world champion, the bra went to fight overseas. Living in that shadow can sometimes be very hard, man. Because if you were at the top, imagine you go down to the bottom. Now you're the has-been. You know what I mean? Now you're the has-been. So now you have to live up to yourself. Living up to your own reputation. That also can put a lot of pressure on. But it's at the end of the day, it comes down to that conversation you have with yourself, man. That trust is like you need to find a way to reaffirm yourself. That's how I get through that. Because like living up to my own what I've done thus far in my own life. Like I was a world champion at 25. I've fought overseas in Abu Dhabi. That can't just slip away. You know what I mean? I can't just move on from that and just let it go. I need to push for new heights And new heights require new sacrifices. New heights require new difficulties. New heights requires unimaginable pain. Difficulty, rejection. You can't, that alone, living up to my own legacy so far, it's a very hard thing, bro. It's a very hard thing. But I know I have to be true to myself in the past, in the present, and in the future. I need to make sure that on all levels, in all times, in all versions of me, that I inspire me.
Yeah. Thanks for that honesty, man. I mean, that's freak hard to like just to admit something like that, like to live up to your own legacy is kind of hard. Like it's like, yeah, to just say that out loud, it's hectic.
It can be a mind puzzle at times. It can be painful, and it can also. I can't, like, for lack of a better word, I can't act like a bitch, because I can see right through it. I can see right
That's
through
the one thing I like about jiu-jitsu. It's like you can't be a bitch. Like,
yeah.
It's like you gotta step your game up. And like it's about fighting.
Yes.
It's if you're gonna pitch out, it's gonna be transparent.
You can see it and you know it.
You can feel it.
You know it, and you don't respect yourself if you do it.
Yeah, you gotta go in.
It's a must. It's a must. Now
it's a fighter's attitude.
Martial arts is too honest. Martial arts is too honest. It will show you exactly who you are, and if you're not willing to see yourself, you'll quit. I wasn't raised to quit.
Nah, we weren't raised to quit. I must not quit.
Oh, hell no. Regardless of what it is and what the obstacle is, it's attainable, it's achievable. As long as there's breath in my body, I'll find a way.
Well, thank you again for joining us here this evening. I don't know how long, we're probably here for 2 hours already. We said we're gonna go for an hour.
Next time bring Sunday lunch,
so we can talk the whole time, bruh. Natal, you wanna any last words there from you? Anything on your side?
No, I'm not mic'd up.
Mic'd up.
Yeah, I personally was just like to say thanks for coming out, man. It's weird how somebody said modern day philosopher, Jericho, buddy of mine. It's weird how people that go through physical hardships they're mentally stronger also, man. And how you the words you use and there's a deeper meaning to it, man. And for you to pass it on through the next generation, that for me is brilliant with your coaching and stuff like that, man.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They're only gonna win with that, man. So now, but thanks for coming out, and thanks for the brilliant words.
I appreciate that recognition. The recognition from both of you is incredible. But I also want to just say something, and I understand a very special shout out to just the best person I know, man. Like really, just the ultimate person. Lucille is without her, I would not have been able to live up to my full potential. Without her, I would not have been able to see it. I sometimes can't see who I am, and with her, like, the world is just such a better place, man. I'm just such a better person, and I'm just better for humanity as a whole. And I love you, babe, and I can't wait to marry you. You are the best person I know, and I enjoy life with you every day. And we are out of our damn mind sometimes, but we piece it together and we get it done. And like, I'm so grateful that this journey is happening with you. I can't wait to conquer the world. Imagine when they get to the UFC, that's gonna be so insane. And she's a gangster. No? Like, I'm sorry, I know we're finishing off, but
No,
she's
we
like,
don't.
she will tell me like, you smash this guy, bro. You smash this guy, pick him apart. Your leg kick. So she was in the corner for my last fight, bro. Like, she has seen this journey from a perspective that you can't even imagine. Like, she has seen the crashes, the stand-ups, the improvement in character, the recognition of self. She has seen me fight the man in the mirror. She has seen me not like myself. And for her to love me through it all is like, it's the most special thing, man. It's the most special thing.
Best man. Sure. Shout out to the seal. Like.
The next time we do this, she has to be here. I think you have to hear some of it from her perspective.
She's always been with you and I think I said on the one of the podcast, like, to see her like by your side all the time, like the support, like, it's so awesome to see, man, and especially to see you along the journey. So I see you. We see each other every few years.
Yes.
But to see you at touch points and so guys are still doing so well together, it's like, it's dope, man. So you met my son when he couldn't speak.
Yes.
He was 2 years old. He couldn't speak. Yeah, he's doing his first like sort of inter-club jiu-jitsu competition in 2 weeks' time. I never the opportunity to fight, but I told him, listen, you don't have to fight anything, but you must learn martial arts.
Yes.
You don't have to do fighting or anything like that, but you must learn martial arts, because having that knowledge is just like, you need to have that basic knowledge.
Yeah.
My daughter used to do jiu-jitsu, but she's not doing it anymore. Me and her go back and forth about it. Like, my mom get involved.
Yeah.
You can't force her to do something she don't want to do. But she was good. Like, Isabella was so good. She was like, bridge and roll, flipping, sweeping. She could sweep any brow. Heavier people, you know.
Nice.
But now she's like, she doesn't do it anymore. So maybe one day she gets back in it. But even to do the martial arts with them, to experience that. To play, to do jiu-jitsu with my son. Oh, man, wrestling.
Yes.
And one day he's going to have a little trouble. My God. So anyway, like I say, it's dope to see your journey. And yeah, I'm also on a journey of alongside your journey, and we both
Look, also
together.
just from my side, I remember the first time we had a podcast was in your kitchen.
Yeah, in my kitchen.
It was in your kitchen, and we had a mic stand between the two of us, and look where you are now, man.
Yeah, in the
and some of the guests that you've had, and some of the conversations that you've had, some of the things that I've heard of people's lives have inspired me crazy on your show. So I really pray that you go from strength to strength and keep doing what you're doing. People need to hear what other people have to say. And people don't get into conversations where people open up and see that. And this is a safe space for that. And you don't realize it. You might not realize it, but it's contributing and affecting people's lives. From your perspective and from the perspective of your guests. So well done, and really just awesome on this platform for doing that.
Yeah, man. I'll aim to continue to do that. Like, I met so much dope people. One of the people is Jean-Marc. Look, Jean-Marc. Johannes, the skateboarder dude.
Got married?
Did he get married?
Got married a few weeks ago.
Yeah, anyway, the skateboarder dude. That brother's supposed to go to the Olympics and stuff.
Yes.
Like that. But due to like stupid like type of politics, like they almost like try to keep him out. But just colored excellence, man.
Yes.
It rises above, like, and you part of it, like, I just want to highlight that.
Yes.
There's so much stories like that. This bruh's supposed to be the Olympics. You supposed to be in the EFC. And it will happen, but that's all we want to do, is highlight those stories.
Absolutely, man.
But anyway.
Absolutely. You guys are doing great work, man.
Yeah, I'll see you in another year or two.
Absolutely.
I'll see your fights, but I mean, we'll have you back on here again.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Appreciate you. This was a lot of fun, bro.
Yeah, it's always fun, bruh. Anyway, please everybody, please like, share and subscribe. Peace, we out.